Hey guys, this is Kevin from JazTime.com, and today we'll be doing a comparison between the newly released Rolex Sky Dweller in stainless steel, reference number 326934, and we'll be comparing it against the Rolex Submariner here on my right, reference number 116610. We'll be going over the price, the dial, bezel, case, crown, bracelet, clasp, and we'll talk about the movement towards the end of the video. Okay, so the pricing for the Sky Dweller, we're looking at the authorized Rolex retailer, we're looking at $14,400 plus tax. For the Submariner, we're looking at $8,550 plus tax as well from an authorized Rolex retailer. Of course, for the best pricing around, check out our website at JazTime.com to see our up-to-date pricing for these watches. Of course, prices are always subject to change. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the dials of the watches now. So for the Sky Dweller, we got a beautiful blue dial, and the Submariner, beautiful nice black dial. The different, they do come in different colors as well. For the Sky Dweller, you're able to get that in a blue, obviously, and also white and black, whereas the Submariner comes in only the black and the green dial, which is referred to as the Hulk, as it's a green dial with a green bezel. The hour markers, we're looking at different style hour markers as well. Of course, a little bit more dial real estate here on the Sky Dweller, as it is a 42mm watch. So we have these index hour markers fashioned in 18 karat white gold to prevent any tarnishing. Same could be said about the hands as well. A little bit of skeletonization on the hand to allow for the viewability of that off-center 24-hour dial. Whereas the Rolex Submariner, we have the maxi dial, which are the circular hour markers fashioned in 18 karat white gold. Both of them do make use of the highly legible chromalite blue display on the hour markers and on the hands as well. The hour hand for the Submariner, we're looking at a Mercedes hands with a minute hand. Both have the date window at the 3 o'clock. Both have a date window at the 3 o'clock position, with a Cyclops lens on top of that sapphire crystal for magnification, easier viewing of that date. Okay. Another thing that the Sky Dweller has over the Submariner is we do have the annual calendar, which is located at the very edge of the dial. You can see small little white square apertures, and actually helps tracking with the, as I said, annual calendar. You can tell the actual month by the red date aperture. For this one is at the 12 o'clock position, so that would be January. Okay, so besides that, the only other thing that's really different is just the Rolex Crown logo. The Sky Dweller has it in place of an hour marker, whereas the Submariner just has it as a plain text at the 12 o'clock position. Okay. So let's go ahead and talk about the bezels now. So different style bezels for the Sky Dweller. We're looking at a is a fluted bidirectional rotatable Rolex ring command bezel. And what it means by the command bezel is that you can actually rotate the bezel into 4 different positions, as I'll show you here. So as you can see, you can adjust it. And the reason for that is actually it changes the different functions on the crown itself. You can actually check that out on our on a standalone video, and on our how-to video on how to use our Rolex command bezel to use the crown functions. For the Rolex Submariner, we have the beautiful unidirectional rotatable 60-minute graduated scratch resistant cerachrome, which is Rolex's fancy way of saying ceramic bezel. Its numerals are the numerals and the graduations are coated in a platinum, so it has a nice comparing look to the case and the crown and the edges of the bezel as well, to keep that nice steel look on the watch. The Sky Dwellers, as you can see, is a fluted bezel. It has a nice high polish. You can see as I tilt the Sky Dweller around, you can see the light kind of hitting at it from different directions, and it actually brings a lot more shine to the face of the watch. Okay. As I mentioned, the Sky Dweller, as we move on to the case size, the Sky Dweller's case size is a 42mm case size. So from my index finger to my thumb here, that's 42mm in diameter. Whereas the Rolex Submariner, we're looking at a 40mm diameter watch. So from my index finger to my thumb, that's 40mm in diameter. So Sky Dweller, a little bit larger with that 2mm in difference. From the side of the watch, we're going to be looking at the profile of the watch. The Sky Dollar is going to be much larger than the Submariner, and that's because the movement has many additional complications. The annual calendar, the off-center 24-hour dial, to help track with the additional time zone, adds to that adds to the size of the movement. So of course it's going to have a larger case size, and you can see the thickness of the case is much different as well. But otherwise, nice high polish on the side of the case. Same could be said as the other side as well. Okay. As you can see, nice high polish on the sides as well. Rolex crown logos on the crown itself. One thing to mention is that the Submariner is more of the sporty watch. It is more of the sports watch, whereas the Sky Dollar is sort of like a hybrid between the two, a sports and a dress watch. And that can be shown by that high polish and the first of the links, whereas the Submariner, you can see that it's a nice satin finish throughout, high polish on the lugs of the Sky Dollar, or satin finish on the lugs of the Submariner. Okay. And another thing is that the side of the case, you can see that the Rolex Submariner has the crown protector, as you see, a little bit raised on the case to protect the crown, whereas the Sky Dollar just has the nice smoothness of the case, and then it's just the crown. Okay, so let me actually go ahead and show you the crown functions of the watch. Like I said, very simply, it's for the Sky Dollar, it's a screw down twin lock double waterproofing system with a water resistance of up to 100 meters to 330 feet. As I've said with the ring command bezel, each position of the bezel will allow different functions of the Sky Dollar. I will go over briefly. If you want more in-depth look, like I said, check out our other YouTube videos. So in this first position, in this first position, you can actually wind the watch. In the second position, pulling it out to in the first position, you can wind the watch. Pulling out to the second position is where you actually access the crown functions. So in this first position, nothing happens. Second position allows you to adjust the day, and of course, adjusting the day will also let you adjust the annual calendar to change the months just by simply going past the 31 or the 1st. The second function, quick hour jump system, to help with the second tracking of the time zone. So our quick time adjustment. Third position allows you to adjust the off-center 24-hour dial, along with adjusting the minute hand as well. And putting it back to the neutral position and screwing the crown down, as you want to keep the watch water resistant and the crown nice and protected. Whereas the Submariner, same thing, screw down, triple waterproofing system, as this has a water resistance as listed on the 6 o'clock position as 1,000 feet and 300 meters. This first position is where you can actually wind the watch from a dead stop. 15 to 20 winds is all you need. Same can be said about the Sky Dollar as well. In the second position, it allows you to adjust the date instantaneously as shown. However, only in one direction. The Sky Dollar can do both directions. Submariner can only go forward. Okay, and in the final position, allows you to adjust the hands bidirectionally, and stopping of the second hand for precise time setting, for such as to an atomic clock online, you can set it down to the exact seconds. Of course, make sure, once again, screw the crown nice and tight in against the case. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to the bracelets now. So similar style bracelets, they're both oyster bracelets. However, as I said, the Sky Dollar is more of like a hybrid of a sports watch and a nice dress watch. We have the high polish down the center, which contrasts against the satin finish links and bring more shine out on the watch. Whereas the Submariner, built for just all sportiness, so it has a nice satin finish throughout the whole bracelet. And same can be said about the other side as well. You can see that nice high polish. Okay. For the class of the watches, different style class. The Submariner has just additional steps to it. So here's the Sky Dollar here on my left. Simple folding oyster class, opens up as so. Whereas the Rolex Submariner, have to take off that, has a folding safety oyster. So safety off, folding open, and there we are. Similar clasp blades, very nicely high polished with the Rolex name embossed onto that high polish of the clasp blade. For the clasp themselves, they both have different functions. So let's start with the Sky Dollars first. So as you can see, Sky Dollar. So on the back of the Skydweller class, it has what's called the comfort extension link, or the easy link, which is this little. You can see this little indentation on the clasp itself, and you can adjust the bracelet from the back here. Adjust the bracelet from the back here with a little tool that allows for the bracelet to be shifted forward or backward, and that's for, you know, small quality of life feature for hot summer days. Your wrist swells up, you don't want the watch to be too tight on your wrist, and you can make a small adjustment for that, and vice versa for colder days. Now for the Submariner, it has what's called the it has the Glide Lock extension link, which is very nice. This was made with divers in mind. Of course, this is a professional diver's watch. You can see pulling at a 45-degree angle opens up that bracelet, and you can see these little rivets on the back of the case, and it allows for 2 millimeters of adjustment for up to 20 meters. Okay. And that's, as I said, it was made for divers in mind, and that's because when divers put on their wetsuits, you have that little adjustment for a little bit of adjustment for the wetsuit itself has a little bit of millimeters, so you want to adjust for more comfortability on the wrist. But it also can be used for everyday things such as running a mile, or tracking how long you've been in the office, or how long even the drive takes to get to the office. If you get this Submariner as a gift for a friend, it will help them in the long run, in which they can just adjust the bracelet as needed for themselves, instead of having to take it to a jeweler, having one of these links removed just to have that nice fit. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the movements now for the watches. So for the Skydweller, housed in this very simple oyster case backing. Same thing can be said about the Submariner as well. Okay, so here's the Submariners. So nice simple oyster case backing. For the Skydwellers, it has a updated movement, which is the 9001 movement. It's a perpetual mechanical self-winding movement with dual time zones, and the annual calendar. Like I said, the annual calendar being on the outer edges of the watch, with the off-center dial helping with that dual time zone. It has the functions: the center, hour, minute, and seconds hand, the 24-hour display on the off-center disc, second time zone, instantaneous changing of the date backwards and forwards, and also with the annual calendar as well. The oscillator for this watch is a paramagnetic blue paracomb hairspring, which allows for additional resistance against magnetism, and has a high performance Paraflex shock absorbers, which Rolex claims to absorb 50% more shocks than the industry standard KIF shock absorbers. The power reserve of the watch is 72 hours, and that means you can put this watch out on a Friday evening, pick it back up on a Monday afternoon, and it'll be keeping time just fine. One other thing I need to mention is that for the Skydweller, that it has a newer style escapement wheel. It's a skeletonized escapement wheel with nickel phosphorus, made of nickel phosphorus, so it has additional magnetism against additional resistance against magnetism, and that skeletonization of the escapement wheel helps with the removing inertia from the movement. It's from that escapement wheel, so that it can keep even more precise timekeeping. The Submariner, however, doesn't lack in the movement department, as it does have that tried and tested movement for over 10 years now. It's the perpetual mechanical self-winding movement, the caliber 31-35 movement. It has a precision of -2 + 2 seconds a day, and has just that simple functions of the hour, minute, and seconds hand, the instantaneous changing of the date with rapid setting, as I've shown you with the crown functions. It has the same oscillator as the Skydweller, which is a paramagnetic blue paracomb hairspring, so it has a resistance against magnetism, and it has a power reserve of 48 hours. So a little bit less than the Skydweller, but still more than enough. It has, so you can put this watch on a Friday evening, pick it back up on a Sunday afternoon. It'll be keeping time just fine. So let's go ahead and show you these watches on my wrist now. So open up that folding oyster, and there we are. So there's this Skydweller on the wrist, absolutely gorgeous. Doesn't actually look too large on the wrist for being a 42mm watch. Fits very nicely, and that dial is just absolutely gorgeous. A little bit of too many things going on that dial, but still looks absolutely nice. Let me show you the Submariner. Very simple sports piece from Rolex. So there we are. And there's the Submariner. Nice, elegant, simple, sleek dial. It just has the date, the time, and there they are together. So if you're interested in this model or any other model for the lowest possible price, check out our website at JazTime.com. We have the lowest prices guaranteed. We offer a 1-year warranty, and if you like the video, please like, comment, and subscribe below. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys soon.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at JazTime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazTime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.